Hello everyone, and welcome to Week 3 of Season 2 of the National Battle Association. My name is Johnny Thick, head coach of your Texas A&M Aeggies, and this week we travel to the Tropics to take on another new franchise, the Miami Gulpins. I do not know what to make of this team. So far, it looks like it's going to be a rough game. He had some tough losses the last 2 weeks against some great teams. He played ROTOM-Washington Machine in Week 1. He played the Kentucky Torcats and their 3 legendary dogs. All 3. Tough losses, but great coaching. In fact, he made another great coaching move right after that second game. To prepare for this week's game, he traded Politoed for Pelipper, the bulkier rain setter. It is going to be a very wet week for the Texas A&M Aeggies, but I think we are ready for it. We don't mind. We don't mind getting a little wet. We don't mind getting a little wet. This week, I think he is going to be bringing Zapdos, Pelipper, Kingdra, Bronzong, Rotom-Wash, and it's a toss-up for that 6th slot. In the order of priority, I think it will be Kartana, Drapion, or Guzzlord, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Let's get into the team builder. Let's break it down. And I'm sorry to break it to you, but I want to do it before we get into the team breakdown. It is not going to be a clash of weather teams this week. I'm sorry, Betty Bambalam, but you're going to have to take a seat on the bench this week. I know, it's going to be a tough sit out this week. But we got to do it. We got to do what's best for the team. All right, enough chitter-chatter. Let's get into the office. Let's break it down. Let's see what this team has to prepare for. First up this week, we have Khaleesi, the LAPRAS, running it with Never Melt Ice, Water Absorb, Freeze Dry, Hydro Pump, Heal Bell, and Protect. 252 HP, 100 Special Attack, 112 Special Defense, 44 Speed with a calm nature. Okay, Khaleesi is going to be a very critical role this week. Running it Freeze Dry with Never Melt Ice because I want it to hit extra hard. It will OHKO Pelipper with a complete special defense investment. Hydro Pump for stab hit on Drapion, Bronzong, Guzzlord, whatever he decides to throw it. Heal Bell for that extra utility. I could see Toxic being on that Bronzong, definitely on Drapion. Maybe even on Pelipper, who knows. Protect to scout those moves, especially on Kartana. I feel like Kartana is a pretty safe switch into Khaleesi, other than that Freeze Dry hitting it for almost 70% thanks to that Never Melt Ice. He won't see it coming. It'll be great. A little more bulky this week, especially because I want to use it against Pelipper and Kingdra. If he decides to bring a Draco Meteor Kingdra for Draco's ult, it could take it. It won't love it, but it is what it is. Second on the roster this week, we have Thick Boy the Draco's ult, running a very, very classic set for him. Choice Scarf, Hustle, Bolt Beak, Outrage, Fire Fang, Earthquake. 252 attack, 252 speed with an adamant nature. Bolt Beak hits almost everything and OHKOs. Outrage is for Guzzlord. Dragon Claw didn't really touch it that much, so I felt like I kind of needed it. Outrage still did plenty of damage on other mons. I just didn't really want to be locked into it, so hopefully I won't, but we'll see. Fire Fang for Levitate Bronzong. Earthquake for Heatproof Bronzong. Also for Drapion, but like Bolt Beak also really hurts it, so whatever. Number 3 this week on the roster, we have Bro J Simpson, the Galarian Slowbro. Assault Vest, Regenerator, Flamethrower, Future Sight, Mudshot, Ice Beam, 252 HP, 4 Special Attack, 252 Special Defense with a Calm Nature. This was my switch into Zapdos. Didn't have a great answer for Zapdos, but I do like what I came up with for it. The most it was doing was like 30% with a Thunder in that rain. And I felt like I could get rid of rain fast enough to where he'd start missing hurricanes and thunders. But Flamethrower for Bronzong, for Kartana, Future Sight to kind of mess up his team, make him maybe force switch into a Drapion or a Guzzlord. Mudshot to hit Drapion for super effective damage, as well as give it a speed buff, or not buff, I'm an idiot. Lower its speed for switches and kind of like outspeed it in whatever. Ice Beam for Zapdos. Pretty standard set. Loved building it. Kofei, the Comfy, number 4 on the team. Life Orb, Triage, Giga Drain, Draining Kiss, Calm Mind, U-Turn, 252 HP, 172 Defense, 84 Special Attack with a Bold Nature. I brought it a little more bulky rather than offensive because it actually made it more offensive. So, if he brought Guzzlord, it could live a Guzzlord switch in and Draining Kiss to heal back up. And that way, I'd kind of, like with the Life Orb, I'd only be taking like, I want to say 15 to 20% total each hit. Because he was hitting for like 70% with a Heavy Slam. It was not great. But it was a good answer. Calm Mind for that boost. U-Turn if I didn't feel confident in setting up yet. And that extra bulk actually probably will come in handy against his other threats like Kartana, like Drapion, even Pelipper. Maybe no, not Pelipper. Excuse me, I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was a EF5, the Tornadus, running him itemless. Regenerator, Hurricane, U-Turn, Knockoff, Icy Wind, 252 HP, 252 Defense, 4 Special Attack, with a Bold Nature. As you can tell, he is not offensive this week. He is defensive. Pretty common theme so far, other than Draco's ult, was bulk. Bulk. Solid answer to Kartana, solid answer to Drapion. I thought he would bring at least one of those two, and I needed something for both of them. So it was a pretty good bring. Hurricane did big damage to him. U-Turn to switch out of them. Knockoff, because none of his team wants a knockoff. Icy Wind for speed control. Yeah, solid bring. Solid bring. Last but not least, big player in this week, despite his disadvantage in the rain. The real ROTOM-H. Running him with heavy-duty boots, just in case he gets Stealth Rock up with Bronzong, Levitate, Overheat, Will-O-Wisp, Defog, Volt Switch, 252 HP, 196 Defense, 60 Special Attack with a Bold Nature. Let's really break this one down because he is a critical piece this week along with Khaleesi. Overheat does big damage to a Levitate Bronzong. Will-O-Wisp cripples all of his physical attackers, which were a lot, even though he's a rain team. It was kind of weird. Defog for those hazards. Volt Switch with that 60 special attack. Oko's a Pelipper. So, I'm up against Bronzong. I Will-O-Wisp for free. If he does not switch, I go for the Volt Switch. Why? Oko Pelipper. Rain's gone. my team is at a huge advantage for the rest of the game. Will-O-Wisp, if he decided to switch into, say, Guzzlord to take an Overheat instead of Pelipper and not risk a Volt Switch, it pretty much cripples that Guzzlord too. If not, it just gets chip damage on whatever he decides to bring in. It's pretty solid. Defog, in case I can't get rid of those. Like, say he keeps in Bronzong, I can defog away the Stealth Rock. I kind of lose the momentum of the Volt Switch, but I don't really want to take rocks this week, especially with a no-item EF5, and yeah, Khaleesi will take big damage from rocks too because of that ice typing. So yeah, I think with no speed investment in the Pelipper, it actually outspeeds the Pelipper. So if I felt ballsy, I could Volt Switch out of the Pelipper. Yeah. So I think the name of the game this week is No Rain. No Rain, and cripple him, and then start attacking. Start, like, break down his team, and then bring in Draco's ult and sweep. I think that is the best way to handle this team. But enough of the team breakdown. Let's get into this game. So, as we can see, he brings the Zapdos, Drapion, Kartana, Kingdra, Bronzong, and Pelipper. Here's what I'm thinking. Let me start. This is going to be a post-game analysis because I still can't figure out the live thing. Hopefully I can figure out before my game against the Rills next week, but here we go. I'm thinking Rotom is probably a safe lead because he's led Bronzong twice, and it'd be safe to say he's going to do it again. If he decides to set the rain, I could go ballsy and do a Volt Switch. I could just hard switch into Lapras. If he leads Zapdos for whatever reason, you know, Volt Switch again, maybe. Take a Hurricane. I wouldn't love it, wouldn't hate it. I really couldn't see what else he would lead other than Bronzong or Pelipper, so yep, I'm leading Rotom-H. So, as you can see, he led with Bronzong for the third time. So, I think he's going to go for rocks. I'm going to get my Will-O-Wisp in for free. Because Kartana doesn't want it. Bronzong doesn't want it. Drapion doesn't want it. Gets chip on the other three Pokemon he brings. And I don't think he has anything to get rid of a status. So, Will-O-Wisp. And of course, it misses. It misses. Not fun. Not fun at all. And he, of course, goes for a Rain Dance. Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting bring. It definitely kind of helped him. He stayed in on this Volt Switch, too. I thought for sure he was going to switch into something that wanted rain. Especially like Kingdra, because what is an Overheat going to do in the rain against a Kingdra? Squat. But he stayed in. Alright. So I go into EF5 to take a Toxic. Knock off. Get rid of its berries. Oh, so that means it's heat proof. Wait, heat proof. Was that a Shuka Berry? No, that's Oka Berry. So definitely, that's why he stayed. Oh my gosh, I didn't notice that until now. An Oka Berry. So I guess he would have taken an Overheat. Maybe he thought I had a big brain or something, but I don't. I just didn't expect that at all. Okay, let's keep going. I think he knows I'm going to switch. So he goes into Kingdra. So I'm going to U-turn out. Bring in Comfy. Now, I wasn't necessarily thinking because this thing can flip turn. And I decided to go for the Calm Mind because I'm selfish. but it doesn't really help because he brings in Drapion. And a poison type move would absolutely obliterate me from that thing, so safe. Switch into Tornadus, eat the knockoff because I'm itemless. I'm itemless, buddy. Here comes the Bronzong. Hurricane. That's okay damage, but I'm wearing this thing down really well. I'm wearing it down really well. Decide to go into, of course, Rotom-H because I got those heavy-duty boots. And what's it gonna do? Rain Dance again. I really don't understand the Rain Dance, but it is what it is. I get rid of the hazards for free. And I'm gonna hard switch into, you guessed it, Lapras to take a flip turn. I thought he was gonna flip turn, but he surfed. Same difference to me. I get a free freeze dry. Great. Goes into Bronzong. Doesn't kill it with the freeze dry, but this Hydro Pump will in the rain. Alright. So, now I'm thinking I'm in a great set because he can't set up hazards. He can't toxic me anymore with that thing. I'm going to scout with Protect. So I see the knockoff coming. Of course, Tornadus. So I take another knockoff. This was not great for me. I think I U-turn? No, I Icy Wind. Slow it down. I almost die right here because of Toxic. It goes into Kartana. I got a U-turn to keep that momentum going and to get some health back. Now, here's the hard switch into Pelipper. Starts to rain. Boom! Big play, big play, big play. Oko the Pelipper. Rain is gone. I'm looking great right now. I get free Hurricanes with Tornadus. Brings in the Zap. That's fine. That's fine. I can go into Slowbro. I'm going to run out the timer on this rain, and it's going to be great. Both of his rain setters are gone. This was kind of alarming, okay? I'm confused. I hit myself. I know I can survive one more hit, so I go for it. I go for the Ice Beam. I want that damage on the dose. Give me that damage. Give me that sweet, sweet damage. So now I go into Draco's ult because I think he's going to Thunder again, but he decides to go for the Hurricane. And look at those hacks, man. The hacks. He confuses me again. It's okay. Bro J can take another hit. I can do another Ice Beam. I probably should have done more, but I mean, I could keep getting switches, so it's great. And he decides to go for an Earthquake, and I'm immune. So it's looking good for me. Looking real good for me. Here comes that Icy Wind. Speed control, my friend. At this point, I'm thinking this thing is scarfed. I'm thinking it's scarfed the entire time. Does nothing. Does nothing. I'm surprised he didn't have knockoff on that, yeah, Kartana. But ease what it is. Poison Jab. Poison Jab, okay. Icy Wind for that speed control. Well, that's speed control. I bet he's thinking that I'm like really fast, but I'm not. I wasn't fast at all. So here comes Rotom-H again. Maybe I can get lucky with an overheat. Wrong. Volt switch. So guess who comes in to finish the job? Pro J Simpson. But he volt switches. I predict it. Mudshot for the kill. I'm looking fantastic right now. Fantastic. What can this thing do to me? Nothing. Speed is gone from the Rain Dance. Goes for the Surf. Does nothing. Here comes the Freeze Dry. For the kill. Man, Lapras was such a good bring this game. Such a good bring. Oh, and here comes that Scout. So I know he's going for the Sacred Sword. Probably should have gone for the Steel move. But he didn't. So I take it like a champ to the chin. Here's where it starts getting iffy. That Smart Strike does big damage. Icy Wind, I almost died to the Toxic. But since I know he's going to do a Steel type move, I'm going to go into Rotom. I don't want to. I want a 6-0. I want a 6-0. That's what I'm thinking right now. Volt Switch for the kill. And of course, Lapras comes. Or no, Draco's ult. Because I am selfish and I want Draco's ult to be in the MVP race. I know it can definitely Bolt Beak for the win. And that is your game, folks. That is your game. Oh, let me tell you. Let me tell you. My heart was racing that entire game. I did not expect it to go as well as it did. Great game, Gulpins. Great game. It was really fun to play. Sorry I didn't bring the sand. I know that probably messed you up. I'm dirty. I know. I'm in your brain. I'm in your brain. But seriously though, great game. Can't wait for next week. And yeah, Aeggies.